What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update and related news update. And boy, there is a lot going on this week. First, we heard yesterday from President Trump in his first interview with some strong words there. Also, I'm going to tell you what is going on this week with the second stimulus check and the second stimulus package, and also about a new weekly subsidy in the form of cash. We're going to go over that in this video, and another state and local program that is passing thousands of dollars in stimulus right now. I'm going to give you all the details of it in this video, so make sure to watch to the end so you don't miss out on any of the details. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos, and give this video a like or a thumbs up. It really helps out our channel. Okay, first up, President Donald Trump gave an interview yesterday, and man, he had some harsh words.
What happened, if you watched the election, I was called by the biggest people saying, congratulations, political people. Congratulations, sir, you just won the election. It was 10 o'clock, and you looked at the numbers, and I'm sure you felt that way. This election was over, and then they did dumps. They call them dumps, big, massive dumps in Michigan and Pennsylvania, and all over. This is total fraud, and how the FBI and Department of Justice, I don't know, maybe they're involved, but how people are allowed to get away from this stuff with this stuff is unbelievable. This election was rigged. This election was a total fraud, and it continues to be as they hide. And the problem we have, we go to judges, and people don't want to get involved. You know, the poll watchers, and this is true with all of the states just about that you're talking about. I think all of them, they weren't allowed to have poll watchers. The Democrats and thugs. Now, I'm not talking about saying, could you please move over? They threw them out of the counting rooms. They weren't allowed to be in. They threw them outside in many cases. I think most of them think it was a fraud. I watched you with Kelly. Look at the election. Look at the election you have coming up right now. You're using the same garbage machinery, Dominion. And she's going around, Abrams, she's going around screaming that she's got 800 or 850,000 ballots. What kind of an election is this? She's going around collecting votes. What kind of an election is this? What kind of a country are we living in now where you can vote for months ahead of schedule? They say you don't have standing. I said I'd like to file to the lawyers. I would like to file one nice, big, beautiful lawsuit talking about this and many other things, with tremendous proof. And they use COVID as a means to stuff the ballot boxes. Joe Biden did not get 16 million more votes than Barack Hussein Obama. He didn't get it. Joe Biden did not get 14 million more votes than Hillary Clinton. And by the way, he didn't beat Obama in the black communities. You go to some of these communities where Obama is very, very popular, and he beats them in some of these communities, but all throughout the rest of the United States, in a black community, he does actually poorly. He doesn't do very well. But he beats Obama in swing states. Now think of that. He beat Obama in swing states. You know that didn't happen. They stuffed the ballot box. Everybody knows that.
This is some of the impossible statistics that we have found. And this is from the Federalist article. They call it Biden magic, and they list a number of ways that Joe Biden magically outperformed election norms.
So, man, there you have it. Strong words from President Donald Trump saying the election was rigged and it was a fraud. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments, because, man, those are some strong allegations, and let me know your thoughts down below. Next up, regarding stimulus, Congress will be working on a stimulus package bill and a government shutdown bill this week, as next week, by next Friday, December 11th, the government will shut down if they do not fund or come up with another bill to fund the government for the next year. This is the government shutdown bill that they have to have, and we have insider information that has been reported on several major news outlets now at this point. I was one of the first people to bring this to you, that they're going to be attaching a stimulus bill potentially to this government shutdown bill, and they'll be working on that this week. They have to pass it before the end of next week or the government will shut down. Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi have both said that they are working on both of these packages simultaneously. And the question is, will they combine them and pass something like that this week or next week before the government shutdown? I personally think it makes sense to attach at least some stimulus to the government shutdown bill so that they can pass stimulus now. Joe Biden has said to the Democrats that he wants to pass a stimulus bill now before the end of the year, and this is their last major chance to do this now before the end of the year because he doesn't want the economy to crumble before the new Congress comes in on January 20th of 2021. So they need to pass more stimulus now as these vaccines are just starting to get ready. They're going to really start to come out to the mass amounts of people in like February, March, and April. Some people will start getting them possibly in December and January, but it won't be enough to curtail the economy. And most economists, and I personally believe that the economy is going to likely still take 12 to 24 months to go back to normal because restaurants, the travel industry, and all sorts of different businesses are not going to go back to normal. People are not just going to go back to eating at restaurants at the average amount that they were beforehand. There's still going to be a lot of people that kind of are still scared to go back out to eat, even months from now.
Just a few hours from now, a ban on outdoor dining goes into effect in Los Angeles County to stop the spread of COVID. Cold weather is already ending outdoor dining in much of the country, and CBS's Jim Axelrod reports that many restaurants may not survive the next few months.
After months of outdoor dining that kept the lights on at New York City restaurants like the Mermaid Inn,
this is the first time I've been here in 33-degree weather.
Winter is coming for co-owner Danny Abrams.
What do the next 3 months look like?
They look very dark and very, very disturbing.
Abrams and his partner Cindy Smith had 7 restaurants pre-pandemic. 1 is open now. 350 employees before COVID is now 50. Abrams has a brutal forecast of his own as cold weather puts the freeze on outdoor dining.
I think as many as 50% of New York City restaurants will go out of business.
Danny, that is bleak.
It's bleak.
1 in 6 restaurants open in March will have closed for good by year's end.
I think that we are at the point where we've been hanging on and we will not make it through these next few months.
National Restaurant Association President Tom Benet says another 40% of those that have survived so far don't expect to make it another 6 months without help from Congress.
And quite honestly, the impact is well beyond just that restaurant. You think about those farmers, those suppliers who provide food.
But does news of the vaccine change your mindset at all? Hey, I've just got to get through the next couple of months and I'll be okay.
The first part, yes, I just got to get through the next couple of months. The I'm going to be okay part hasn't crept in yet.
And the cold weather ahead may very well keep it that way. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York.
So there you have it. Up to 85% of restaurants could fail without more stimulus passed for restaurants, and up to 10% of the entire United States workforce works at restaurants and food service industry. 10% of all the workers, and 85% of those businesses could go out of business. So you see, this pandemic kind of affects everything. It affects businesses, it affects people who work at the businesses, it affects people who shop at the businesses, and those businesses supply tax money to the states, and the states are trying to give some of that money back to the people with the stimulus, and it's just a cycle that goes round and round, and they're going to need to have to pass more stimulus to keep all of this going, because with these new shutdowns and lockdowns, we just seen a new lockdown in LA over the last 48 hours. And honestly, they have to pass more stimulus to keep the economy going, or the economy is going to continue to do worse and worse. In addition to that, they're going to need to pass an extension on the unemployment benefits. If the end of the year comes, there will be 14 million people that will lose their unemployment benefits at the end of this year. Unemployed workers, gig workers, and all states have a 13-week extension that will expire also. We are expected to see an unemployment extension in the next stimulus package, as you can see here, a new weekly subsidy is almost certain to be part of any upcoming federal stimulus package, according to unemployment and policy experts. The enhancement would likely fall somewhere between $250 and $600 per week and would likely be retroactive to September, they said. Now, that would be welcome for the many Americans that have been on unemployment at one point or another. We had a recent statistic that I covered a few days ago that said up to 40% of the entire United States workforce has been laid off at one point or another. They lost their job or they were temporarily laid off during this pandemic since March. So 40% of people have been on unemployment at one point or another, and Congress can't pass more stimulus. It's like, what? And then you have 50% of Republicans in the Senate that think there doesn't need to be any more stimulus at all, that the economy's fine, we're good. Luckily, we only need 15 votes of the Republican senators in the Senate if they want to pass a bill with the Democrats. So really, the Democrats are the key to getting the stimulus package passed, but Nancy Pelosi needs to really come off her high horse and not expect to get a $2 to $3 trillion stimulus package, because she won't be able to get the Republican support to do that. And that's why Joe Biden has been urging the Democrats and the Democratic administration, which is now underneath him, even though he's not in office yet, he tells them what to do. He's the leader of the Democrats, that they need to pass a smaller stimulus package now before the end of the year, something that Mitch McConnell will agree with, and get something out to the people now before the holidays. Also, remember, they have $800+ billion from the previous stimulus packages that has already been approved that they can just reuse. So whether or not they can do that through a presidential executive order or they're going to need Congress, that money's already been approved and it's already been printed or sitting in a bank account and it's ready to be used. Now, I had a really good video last night. I will link it to you at the end of this video with all the states and cities that have passed stimulus that I know of. Honestly, there's pretty much probably stimulus in every single state, okay? You really just have to dig and find it, and I've been doing a lot of that research for you. And let me bring a new state to you that is passing stimulus right now. This actually comes from one of our viewers who left this comment in the video from last night that I will link to here in a second, from Frances Salinas. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. She says, the grand and generous city of San Antonio, Texas, just helped me with $2,400 in rental and utility assistance, plus a cash allowance of $700. My single parent family was hit hard by the pandemic, and the city really stepped up with assistance. I'm a self-employed single mom supporting a college student and trying my very best to keep our head above water. We're so thankful to the San Antonio Food Bank for the priceless info on resource. The link for the assistance is, and you can see the link here. You can pause this video if you want to write it down. Thank you, Jimmy, for keeping us informed. God bless you and yours. And here is the website for the San Antonio rental and mortgage assistance and cash assistance. You could also call this phone number here if you want to call them. I recommend you look this up if you're from or you know anybody from San Antonio. So thank you for that comment. And again, if you're from San Antonio, Texas, that's $2,400 plus cash for mortgage and rental assistance, which is basically just cash for you to use for your rent. There's programs like this all over the United States, and I will be bringing you more in upcoming videos, so make sure you're subscribed with the bell icon on so you don't miss out on our videos that typically come out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget to share this video so others like you will know about these programs. Click on this top video if you haven't watched this yet, which goes over all the states and cities that I know of recently that are passing stimulus like this to their residents. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. Click on one of those to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.